What's up guys, it is the T-Ball and I am back with another video. Before I start, if you guys will hit that like button and subscribe for more NBA, Brooklyn Nets, and Jeremy Lin videos. Your support is greatly appreciated as we are trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. So if you're not subbed, be sure to hit that sub button as your support is greatly appreciated. So today we're going to be going over Jeremy Lin and the Brooklyn Nets win over the Atlanta Hawks. They won by a score of 107-92. They played in Atlanta. So it was an on-the-road victory against an Eastern Conference team, which the Nets haven't done for quite a while on the season, as I'm pretty sure they only had about 2 to 3 wins against the Eastern Conference on the road this season. So great game for the Nets. So some key box score stats: Jeremy Lin with 19 points, 8 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, and 1 block. He also had 4 turnovers and 4 personal fouls. He played 28 minutes, shot 7 of 15 from the field, 1 of 5 from three-point range, and 4 of 4 from the free throw line. He had a plus-minus of +1. Brook Lopez with 23 points, 7 rebounds, 1 steal, and 1 block. He shot 7 of 17 from the field, and he was solid overall. Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, I'll get more into him later. He had 11 points, 13 rebounds on 3 of 13 shooting. Spencer Dinwiddie with 10 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds, 2 steals, and 1 block. He had a plus-minus of +21, and I'm going to get more into him as well later on. So for a quick recap, the Nets started off hot in the first quarter and into the second with the bench leading the way. The bench actually gave the Nets a 22-point lead, but when the starters came back in, the Nets offense started to stagnate and their defense kind of lagged a little bit, and at the end of the first half, the Nets were up only 7 points. So just looking at my notes. In the third quarter, the offense was slow for both teams, but the Nets gained a little bit of an upper hand as they had a 10-point lead at the end of the third quarter. Jeremy Lin, I'll get more to him later, obviously, was dealing with some foul trouble. He actually had to leave the third quarter with about 8 minutes left as he kept getting called for phantom fouls, in my opinion, by the refs, and it was ridiculous, but I'll get more to that later. In the fourth quarter, the Hawks came close at one point. They were at one point down only 7, and it looked like they were about to make a nice little run. But the Nets stormed back with some great offensive and defensive plays. Particularly, that came out weird. I like the play by Hollis-Jefferson where the ball was loose. Lin picked up the ball. He made a bullet pass to Hollis-Jefferson, who got up and jammed it over. I want to say it was the Hawks Prince. I think that's his name. So yeah, at the end of the game, the Nets took the W as they won by a score of 107-92. So for Jeremy Lin, he was great today. He got into foul trouble, as I said before early in the third quarter with about 8 minutes left, but he did come back with about 10 minutes and 30 seconds left in the fourth. The refs called some phantom fouls on Lin. Well, 2 of the fouls tonight, or in this afternoon game, was on offensive fouls, and I think the one in the third quarter where Lin was called for his fourth, I definitely think could have gone either way. I definitely think it could have been called an offensive foul, maybe, or it could have been called in favor of Lin, where the Hawks player who drew the foul should have been called for the foul. And the other play too, I do think Lin was called for an offensive foul fairly, but some of the other calls, such as I think one of the fouls was Lin on Howard when I think it was Lopez who fouled him, I forget. But just in general, the refs are still not favoring Lin in calls. They're siding with the opposing player, from what I see at least. And I definitely think, I said multiple times, a video might be coming out soon. I don't know. But I just need to, get the clips and find some time to do it. So we'll see. But besides that, he made some great passes throughout the game. He scored at a semi-efficient rate, 7 of 15 from the field. That's around, I want to say that's around 45%. 46%, somewhere around there. His drives have looked quick, on point, and sharp. It looks like his speed is coming back as he's getting to the rim at ease. I still don't think Lin's at his 100% speed and health yet. Probably around 80 to 85%. He just doesn't have that as quick first step as he usually does. I mean, obviously in the game today, his drives were quick and he looked strong going to the basket, but we all know Lin as we saw him earlier in the season. I want to say that Pacers game where Lin just has that really, really fast burst of speed that is, I'd say, unparalleled in the league, except for guys like John Wall, Kyrie Irving. Those guys could, compare to Lin, but as I said before in the speed metrics in the previous video, Lin actually had a faster overall speed than those guys. So Lin's three-point shot still looks off for some reason. The past couple games, Lin has been struggling mightily from three. He's shooting, probably around 30%. He shot 1 of 5 tonight. It's just something looks different with his three-point shot now. In the beginning of the season, his shot looked smooth, and even when he returned from his hamstring injury after the All-Star break, his shot looked good. It was smooth. The arc was not as high, I think, as in the past couple games. Lin's arc looks a little too high, as it just seems off for some reason. I'm not sure why. Maybe Lin's getting fatigued and he's using more of his arms in a shot, thinking that since he's tired, he probably thinks his shots are going to be short, so he tries to give the shot a little more like oomph into it, so it won't be short, but it might be long, and that's what's happening with his shot, I think. But we'll see. Maybe it's just a little blimp in the radar, if that's a good analogy. But yeah, so hopefully his shot will come back. I have faith. All NBA players have cold streaks, hot streaks. So Lin's just facing a cold streak right now, I guess. So, but overall, Lin had a very nice game. I do want to point out his defense was pretty decent today. He did hold Schroeder, if I'm saying his name right, to a pretty low field goal percentage. I forget what it was, but I know it wasn't high, as he missed a ton of shots today. But Lin did get blown by like 1 or 2 times, but besides those few plays, Lin looked very good today on defense. So I also want to point out Rondae Hollis-Jefferson. He's been great with rebounding. It was a good decision by the Coach Kenny and his staff to put him at power forward, in my opinion. Putting Hollis-Jefferson at shooting guard and small forward is not a great idea. Even though Hollis-Jefferson is 6'7", which in that height he's more suited as a shooting guard, small forward. But putting him at power forward, he has an advantage in speed, and putting him in power forward, it also hides his lack of shooting ability. Hollis-Jefferson shot only 3 of 13 from the field, very inefficient, but I do want to say a couple of those misses were from putbacks that missed and other tip-ins, but I still don't like Hollis-Jefferson driving to the rim on a fast break, or when he gets it from around mid-range and then he'll drive for this crazy layup that either like air balls or just bounces straight off the backboard. He tries to draw a foul. I do like his effort, his hustle, but he needs to play a little smarter, I think. He needs to be that player who sticks around the rim, gets the open pass from the guards, and the guy who gets the offensive rebounds. I do want to say, though, Hollis-Jefferson has been amazing rebounding lately. I think he had 16 rebounds in like 18 minutes or something crazy like that, or 18 rebounds in 16 minutes in one game. And he's definitely been helping out in the rebounding category with, as we all know, Lopez is not the best of the rebounders. So, yeah, so the Nets bench today was great. It's not tonight. It's afternoon game, but they built up a 22-point lead in the second quarter. They also, in the third quarter, held on to the lead, which was definitely much different than yesterday's game against, or 2 days ago, I think? 2 days ago against the Wizards, where the Nets starters built up a 9-point lead. They lost it a little bit, were up 1, and then the Nets bench came in, and then by the end of the first quarter, the Nets were already down 9, as I said before. So Dinwiddie was effective in controlling the offense. He had a nice 3 in one play, and he had a plus-minus of plus 21, which is pretty crazy. Yeah, but I like how Dinwiddie played today. He played under control, and I think he can definitely be a very strong third-string point guard, and possibly second-string point guard. We don't know yet. I mean, he just looks like that type of player who doesn't try to get that risky play. He's not a high risk, high reward player. He's a low risk, low reward player, if that makes any sense. As he's very efficient. He doesn't turn it over much, and I definitely like him. And yeah, that came out weird, but I definitely think, looking back at the Nets' decision to waive Yogi Ferrell in favor of Spencer Dinwiddie, I think it's working out for both the Nets and the Mavs, who the Mavs picked up Ferrell. Even though Ferrell had that nice burst of games where I think he had 32 against the Blazers at one point, he's cooled off and now he's actually benched in favor of Seth Curry, Wesley Matthews, and Nerlens Noel as they're starting now as um, the coach of the Mavs, Rick Carlisle, I think that's his name, put Nerlens Noel in favor of Yogi Ferrell to make the lineup for the Mavs a little bigger, as Ferrell is very undersized, which did definitely play a factor in the Nets picking up the six guard, 6'5", somewhere around there, guard Spencer Dinwiddie in favor of Ferrell, as the Nets love playing guys in multiple positions, and Ferrell just doesn't have the height to play the shooting guard position, as he can barely even defend point guard. So sorry for getting off topic there, but just want to point that out. Isaiah Whitehead was nice today. He's playing some great defense. He had a huge block on Dennis Schroeder, and I love his aggressive drives to the rim. He's a great finisher. I love his spin move, where he gets to the rim on a spin and then he puts up the nice little floater or bank shot. And as I said before, his floater is very nice as well. So I also want to point out Archie Goodwin. He had only 2 points on one-on-one shooting tonight in 7 minutes, but he had this beautiful drive to the rim, and I definitely think he should be signed for maybe 2 to 3 years on a non-guaranteed deal, as I definitely think he has a ton of potential with his ability to get to the rim. It's Jeremy Lin-like, if I have to say, from what I saw on his only one drive tonight. He has a huge burst of speed, a huge first step. And I definitely think he can have the potential to become like a backup shooting guard. Yeah, so I definitely think him and Whitehead have some great potential. And also want to point out KJ McDaniels was nice tonight. He had some nice athletic plays. He's been very aggressive with his offense. He pulled up for a nice long two at one point, just went swish. It was a nice shot. And I love his offensive rebounding, where he gets some offensive tip-ins and dunks. I don't think he had a dunk tonight, but I definitely think he had a tip-in at one point, and he seems like a very athletic guy who definitely has the potential to become a backup, a backup three. So that's a wrap. This is a little bit of a longer video, but I hope you guys did enjoy my recap and analysis. If you guys did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I will be making a video for Tuesday's game against the Sixers, and I'm pretty sure the Nets will be at home, but double check me on that. So hopefully the Nets can take the win, and just in general, the Nets have been playing some great basketball in March. They are now 8-7, I'm pretty sure, in March, or 9-8. No, 8-7 in March, which is a winning record, and it makes you wonder, what would have happened if Jeremy Lin was healthy throughout the season. But we can't do those what ifs, but it definitely shows that the Nets have a ton of potential going into next season, a good amount of momentum. Hopefully they can sign a guy like KCP, Otto Porter Jr. Guys like that will definitely help with the Nets rebuilding and hopefully a playoff seeding next year. I definitely think the Nets could possibly get an 8th or 7th seed if everything works out, everyone's healthy, everyone's clicking, and things like that. So also, the Nets season is coming to a close soon, as there's only, I want to say, 8 games left. So leave some suggestions what type of videos you guys want me to do after the season is over. I will be doing predictions for every playoff, every NBA playoff matchup from the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. As long as I have some time, I do have a ton of tests coming up, so hopefully I will have the time to do that. But besides that, going into the summer and into the off season and the draft, definitely let me know what type of videos you guys want me to do, as without Jeremy Lin playing, there's not going to be a ton of news, and I know most of my subscribers and supporters are watch my videos mainly for